I never went to see the Black Panther, and I will never see the Black Panther, even if it's offered in my living room for free, because it's based on fiction. I don't do fiction. My people's history has been rubbished and erased and lied about so much. I don't have time to fit historical fiction in my life, because the Black Panther is a real story that has to be told. Again, a matriarchy. Saronia. That was the title. Like you have the Kendake Queens. All these people are in my book, by the way. So she fought a bitter war, and I say she, even if different Saronias were coming on, because Arabs came in 476, the white people in 1400 onwards. But they could not Islamize them. So they say, the Arabs tell them, oh no, you will take Niger, but those villages ruled by Saronia, you will not take them. The French say, oh, this is our born. We will see. I like what they say. We will see between their God and our God who is powerful. Today we say it's the same God because we are confused, because we hold on so much to Christianity, we don't want to let go. It's painful to realize it's a false doctrine. That's what the French say. They amass, reinforce, they go to war. Cut a long story short, they defeat Abantu Baka Saronia. I don't know why it's running away from me what they were called. Right now, I'm forgetting it. They defeat them. They're going to behead her. So they strip her naked. That's what they all did with our people. It's the same thing they did to Sarah Partman, because it's first point of humiliation. They strip her naked, they chain her, they call all her people to a square, because that's how we built pre-colonially. Things basically ebandla. And that's why I'm that's how you resolve problems. So they call them to the village square. They are going to show them that njengoba nje ningafuni ukuconverta to Christianity, ningafuni ucolonizwa, lento enibambileyo ayikho African spirituality is a boy compared to Jesus. So we are going to behead your king, your queen in front of you. So bayamletha again naked. The people can't look bajonga pants. That's their queen, naked, in chains. Village square. She says to them, if you claim you are as civilized as you claim than us, and you're going to behead me, and it is your law. It is in our law, before sisendens umuntu, to ask them, is there anything you want to say? Are you going to ask me? But what do you want to say? Ati, allow me just one grace. Ndivumeleni ndiye pha endumbeni, where I speak with my ancestors for the last time. They allow her. She goes in there. Time passes. It's leading up to an hour. Everyone is like they are seized onto the square. They can't move, but they're restless, especially the French, because they want to get it over with. Before the hour passed, those doors flung open. What came out was a Black Panther. Christianity tells you today that shape-shifting is evil. I want to shape-shift. Because if I can shape-shift, I will liberate a lot of my people. She shape-shifted into a panther. The bottom line is they couldn't kill her, they couldn't behead her, and she left an even greater testimony to her people that it is not true that African spirituality is subjected or smaller than Christianity. And they had to give her a guard of honor as that panther merrily rode through the crowds and disappeared into the forest.
Wow, Africa has a pretty decent film industry. I guess the question is, why are not they using their platform to make historical movies instead of soap opera-ish films that they consistently produce? Finding out the Woman King was made by a white woman is like a slap in the face. We must protect our history by sharing it accurately, especially to protect our spirituality.
Africa suffers from the same social pressures the West does because Africa was heavily colonized. Africans are just as susceptible to conformity and doing the norm as the West. These stories are not the norm for us. Africa's spirituality is still looked down upon and is the underdog. The little funding any industry gets goes with what is popular. People like the lady in the video are few and far between. Also, how about instead of trying to tell stories that are for the box office, that we learn to tell the common everyday stories of African descendant people's cultures? This attachment we have to the entertainment industry is very codependent, in the sense that we wait for popular culture to reinforce what we value. By then it is too late, it has been commodified and sold. You have to know that you are creating history right now and document it. What we fail to recognize is that the future belongs to the scribes. It is not what you know, it is what you document that leaves a record. If you are not setting a record straight and transcribing your cultural histories, it will be sold and retold. Remember, it is the victor who writes the past. Start writing so you can claim the victory. This is why African, Caribbean, Brazilian and African Americans' histories need to be told globally. We should have learned about this history when the first film came out. What should be done now? Make that powerful story that she told into a movie. Family, between all of us globally, we have thousands and thousands of stories to tell that could be made into film. I like the fact that there is a black mermaid, but Africa and the Caribbean have mermaid tales. Come on, family, I have a strong feeling that our histories and stories would make epic movies. Speaking of mermaids, mermaids are Africans. We have webbed fingers and feet. We shed our skins like reptiles/dragons. There is a mermaid we know and we call her Mommy Water or Yemoja, and Orisha, who is the same as Ozet or so-called Isis, who is also Sirius A, and the Primordial/Celestial Waters of New/North/Nunet. Is it not fascinating that when we were in the wombs we were like tadpoles in the waters of our life creators and our life givers, our mothers? Also, the name Mary is marine, from mare and later became maize, Messiah, to Mason, Sirius A equals Oz and the moon and sun equals Haru/Shango, and it is no surprising that we call our mothers more. We have to do more research of these movies first. Only one person in our group should check out the movies, then we can warn each other as to whether we are presented in a negative or positive light. If negative, we can warn each other so we won't waste our black dollars needlessly. Our Almighty Creator God is still in control. I feel like there is room for both these stories, they need to be made into movies. Black escapism and factual retelling of our stories is important, especially since we are lacking both in media. Yes, most movies are escapism, and open the audience to a new idea. One's based on factual is the next step that is still open to interpretation, then there's the documentary based on factual evidence. One idea, three mediums of telling.